We are fighting for America's future, and we understand the opportunity we have before us to turn the page on the fear
Whoa, she's speechless for a moment. Oh my gosh, let's see what she says. Welcome back, warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. Today, we've got a number of clips to go over. You know, Kamala Harris, something very embarrassing happened at her own campaign rally. We're going to go over that, plus some other things about Donald Trump, whether he's a fascist or is he not a fascist. You're not going to believe what I have for you today. But before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, watch the video to the end. Now, let's get into it. First thing I want to share with you guys is what happened at Kamala Harris's rally. Now, a couple of things happened that were really, really, really embarrassing. And you know, they have broken out the Obamas, the safety net, the savior, Barack Hussein Obama, and his wife, Michelle. You know what they like to call her. But let's see what happened. This is at Kamala Harris's Kalamazoo, Michigan rally that she had recently. It says, holy smokes, Kamala gets heckled, called a piece of sugar honey iced tea, and booed loudly by anti-war protesters at her Kalamazoo, Michigan rally. How utterly embarrassing. Let's check it out.
We are fighting for America's future, and we understand the opportunity we have before us to turn the page on the fear
Whoa, she's speechless for a moment. Oh my gosh, let's see what she says. Now, this looks like Kamala Harris's campaign is utterly collapsing. It doesn't matter what they do. They have amped up the fascist rhetoric, comparing, Donald J. Trump to a Nazi, the most famous Nazi of them all from World War II. I will not repeat his name. They have ramped up that rhetoric. And you know about former Chief of Staff John Kelly saying this man is a fascist. He definitely would rule that way. He's saying that he has worked with him before. But funny how John Kelly comes out with this within a couple of weeks of the actual election. And we've had Stacey Williams, this former model, come out and say that Donald Trump back in 1993, 31 years ago, inappropriately touched her within a couple of weeks of the actual election. So we know the Dems are absolutely desperate. And you see what's happening with Kamala Harris. She's talking about no more fear, and we want peace and joy. Well, the joy is all gone because all of these wars. We've got all of these. We've got Russia, Ukraine, North Korea helping Russia attack Ukraine, Israel, Hamas. Israel has attacked Iran, and Lord knows what else could be happening right now. It looks like we are about to be pushed, possibly, allegedly, into World War III. And this is people who are anti-war, booing her and shouting anti-war shouts at her Michigan rally. Now, Michigan is one of those swing states, as we all know, and any presidential candidate wants to win Michigan, along with some others like Pennsylvania and Georgia. But let's hear what Michelle Obama has to say. Yeah.
To think that the men that we love could be either unaware or indifferent to our plight is simply heartbreaking. It is a sad statement about our value as women in this world. It is both a setback in our quest for equity and a huge blow to our country's standing as a world leader on issues of women's health and gender equality. So fellas, before you cast your votes, ask yourselves, what side of history do you want to be on? Now, I recognize that there are a lot of angry, disillusioned people out there, upset with the slow pace of change. And I get it. It is reasonable to be frustrated. We all know we have a lot more work to do in this country. But to anyone out there thinking about sitting out this election or voting for Donald Trump or a third-party candidate in protest because you're fed up, let me warn you, your rage does not exist in a vacuum. If we don't get this election right, your wife, your daughter, your mother, we as women will become collateral damage to your rage.
Okay, I will say that I actually agree with some of what Michelle Obama said. She said, if we don't get this election right, the women that you love will be collateral damage. Because I believe in women's rights. Yeah, I do. Not to unalive their children, not to do that. Not to unalive the unborn or anybody for that matter. No, I am not for that. I am for women being protected when they play sports so that they can actually go up only against biological women, not someone who identifies as a woman but was born a man. No, I'm for women's rights too. I am for the right for a woman to choose whether or not she wants to keep and raise her unborn baby or give it up for adoption. Those are the choices. So I am also pro choice, right? But very much pro life. Yes, I agree with Donald J. Trump pretty much on those exceptions. Yes, I do. Because I don't know how a woman's mind would be. But what I want people to focus on is that people who have had that done, they should not be demonized, who felt like they were trapped. But at the same time, what the guilt and anger and depression that these women face after they've had an abortion is something that's not talked about enough. That is not talked about. Abortion is not like an answer to your problem or a fix it all. It actually can cause more problems. We need to remember that. But that's what they doing now. They out here begging. They out here saying, you guys, you can't sit this. You got to get this right. Yeah, you got to get this election right. All right. You better vote. You better vote right. And you know how I'm voting. You already know what's up. You already know what's up with me. And I don't hide it because everybody else is shouting what they believe. Why should I have to be quiet? Why should I have to be demonized and told to hush? I still don't have a Trump Vance sign in my yard because I don't want to invite undue stress in my life because I don't know how that will be taken. But I suggest everybody mind their own business, no matter regardless of who has a sign in their yard. But this is something else I want to show you guys because this fascist rhetoric has been out of control. You saw what happened at the rally. She got booed, she got heckled, and whatever. She didn't even know what to say. Poor thing, honey. I almost felt sorry for you, cackling Kamala, Kamala, Comrade Kamala. Scowler, Scamala. I'm sorry. Y'all know I like to play. I like to have fun with her name. It is so fun coming up with all those mispronunciations. Although Scamala might not be a mispronunciation, but this is what Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, said after he was asked if he thinks Trump is a fascist. Check this out.
Hi, Mr. Mayor. I wondered if I could ask you about any communications you've been having with the Trump campaign about this rally or otherwise, and if you believe, as others have said, that the former president is a fascist.
You know, I have been had those terms hurled at me by some political leaders in the city, using terms like Hitler and fascist. My answer is no. I know what Hitler has done, and I know what a fascist regime looks like. I think, as I've called over and over again, that the level of conversation, I think we could all dial down the temperature. And I've heard people say that the former president should not be able to have a rally in Madison Square Garden. I strongly disagree. This is America. This is New York. And I think it's important that we allow individuals to exercise their right to get their message clear to New Yorkers. And our job as a city and as a police department is to make sure they can do that in a peaceful way. I think that we must be extremely cautious. The heat we turn up today, pre-election, is going to have to be the heat we're going to have to govern in. And I think we need to show a level of respectable communication. And so when people called me fascist and other terminologies, I didn't like it. And I don't think it's fitting to anyone to state that the former president is equal to being Hitler. I just think that this is a city where we have the largest Jewish population. Anti-Semitism is on a rise nationally. We need to do everything we can to push back on that level of anti-Semitic tone and anti-Semitic issues that we're facing in the city. Let's have a safe, fair, democratic process and show the globe how we're able to do it correctly.
So, a black man being called a fascist. And you know he got into trouble. Eric Adams, that's the mayor of New York City right there, Eric Adams. And this is a press conference preparing for Donald Trump is arriving in New York today at Madison Square Garden. I believe it's at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. People were actually in line at 5 a.m. Okay. I mean, 10 hours early, standing outside in the cold and in the dark, waiting for this man to show up. Do people show up 10 hours early for a Kamala Harris rally in the cold? Unless she got a famous person like Beyonce at her rally? I think not. So Donald Trump doesn't need that. He doesn't need Beyonce at his rally. Not that she would show up because they for the Democrats. And you know, the Democrat music industry, of course, Democrats and the music industry in Hollywood go hand in hand. We already know that. That's why they usually almost always support Democrats. But this is what we are looking at, this rhetoric. They know what they're doing. They know they're trying to get some person who's a knucklehead out here somewhere who they can blame it on, who they act like they don't know that person is there, like they did with Thomas Crooks, and let that person try to get a shot off, but it didn't work. Okay, so prayer warriors, keep on praying. And the thing about Eric Adams too, he has been walking out of line. I'm not going to say that other N word that the Democrats probably use behind closed doors. You better get back on that plantation is probably what they're saying to Eric Adams. You say what we want you to say. When he accused Jim Crow Joe and Kamala Harris for letting all those immigrants in, then he got in some legal trouble. And he just said, you know what, since I'm already in trouble, I might as well just keep on talking. No, the man's not a fascist. What? You're not saying he a fascist? All the other Democrats are saying he's fascist. Eric Adams, you done stepped off the plantation. You gonna stay off? You gonna get back on? You gonna say, I'm sorry, master, I'm sorry. I'll be a good little slave. You better stand up for what's right. You know you're not a fascist. And Donald Trump was the headliner at a fight against anti-Semitism event. And there is a YouTuber by the name of Nate Friedman. He went into the Jewish part of New York. It was a completely Jewish area, religious Jews. And every single last one of them said they're voting Donald Trump.
I think they need to get their priorities straight and see who really has their best interests in mind. Trump loves Israel, Trump loves the Jews.
Do you want Trump or Harris to win?
Of course, Trump.
Why Trump?
Not because he was very good. He does what he says. He's a real leader.
So if he's this so-called Nazi, why are all those Jewish people voting for him? Answer me that. Why was there no problems with America and Israel under his administration when Donald Trump's president? Answer me that. See, these are just things that people are saying. It's getting close to the election. They see the handwriting on the wall, and they're getting scared, and they don't know what the heck to do. They are so freaked out right now. We are literally less than 2 weeks. We're like 10 days. Is it even 10 days? It's like 9 days to the election. Whoa. What are they going to do? This is so much fun to watch, but we have to be very prayerful. Okay, sorry, I got tongue-tied, but we have to be very, very careful because we know when I say careful, I mean careful with our prayers. But, you know, pray for all of us, the entire nation, the whole world, that there's a revival, that the right person that God is using gets into the White House in America, and that we have safe borders, we have a booming economy, no wars, people are getting along, we're unified, the scales fall off of people's eyes. You know, this whole illegal immigration thing is handled appropriately, that the economy gets back, prices lower to like no inflation, low interest rates, just everything good, low gas prices, low food prices. We want all of those things. The things that Kamala Harris is offering, she's just not offering anything, in my opinion, that I care about. I'm not into what she's offering. I'm really not. There's not anything on her platform that I actually like. So you guys, don't forget to like this video, comment, share, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Click that notification bell. Also, you can find me on Rumble, but type it in as ChatWithMeLindaB as one word. Also, I am on X, Instagram, and TikTok as ChatWithMeLindaB. And also, you can email me, chatwithmelindaB@gmail.com. I look forward to those emails, content suggestions, or who you would like to see on my show. I want to start getting more people who actually are on my show so that we can talk. Thank you all so much. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. You have a blessed day. Love God, your families, these United States of America. And as I always say, march on, warriors.